Imogene Pass is one of the more popular routes in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado and a bucket list trail for adventurers worldwide. It connects Telluride to Ouray via the second highest mountain pass in the country, topping out at over 13,000 feet. The trail can be run in both directions. We opted to go west to east from Telluride to Ouray. We clocked the trail at 16.5 miles with a moving time of 2.5 hours and a total time of a little over 4 hours, including lunch and photo stops. Technically, Imogene is a fairly easy trail, although I would still classify it as 4 rated due to some of the washed out and loose steps on the Ouray side that are quite large, and a poor line by inattentive drivers have been known to cause rollovers. But if you are paying attention, have a spotter, good tires, and are careful, it should be passable by most high-clearance four-wheel drives with a low-range transfer case. Like most Colorado trails, the most dangerous sections are the winding, narrow shelf roads, and due to the 2020 coronavirus pandemic, we found traffic to be unusually high.
Sierra, when we stop, Jack. Sierra.
Mr. Mario, look against you. You are super hard.
One trick our group had was to spread out. This allowed the leader to relay via radio when there was oncoming traffic and we could find a safe place to pull over to the side. Again, uphill has the right-of-way, but if you find a safe place to pull over and stop, please do so. Just before the pass on the Telluride side is Tomboy Mine. And this is a popular spot to stop, explore, and have lunch. Tomboy Mine was constructed in 1880 and continued in operation until 1927. At its peak, the camp supported 900 people and had a wild history. In spite of constant weathering from annual winter storms, Tomboy still stands as a testament to the foolhardiness of the early miners and is an excellent ghost town to explore. It's not just the historical relics of the 19th century that make Imogene great. It's also the world-class scenery. The Telluride side starts off in a residential neighborhood. And then passes through an aspen forest before rising above the tree line, skirting the mountainside by intimidating shelf roads. Your passengers may catch a glimpse of Bridal Veil Falls and the power station, as well as the Black Bear Pass switchbacks. But as a driver, although tempting, please don't look until you are stopped. The actual pass, especially during the summer monsoons, reminds me of something out of Middle-earth, Chicago Peak looming ominously on as you climb to the top.
Well, we're almost at the top. It's right there.
We have 1,000 more feet.
Yeah. We have, a half mile of driving to get there? It is. Pictures, even with these awesome cameras we all have, it still doesn't do them justice.
Nope.
When we got to the pass, it was shrouded in humid mists of a scattered thunderstorm. Although it blocked my view, I wouldn't have asked for anything else. The descent on the northwest side starts off rocky, similar to Ophir Pass, but with more switchbacks. It is here that you hit a series of ledges that you either have to climb if you are going to Telluride or descend if you're on your way to Ouray, and constitute the most technical portions of the trail depending on which path you take. After the hills, you gently drop down into the tree line, filled with a few water crossings and beautiful wildflowers.
She means Super Mario Motion Mr.
The trail is simply a masterpiece of nature and history, its only drawbacks being the traffic and white-knuckle passing of vehicles caused by the trail's popularity. Even then, it easily justifies its place on the bucket list of many enthusiasts, and I personally can't wait to go back.